Hi guys, welcome back to the Totally Magic channel. Whatever time you happen to be watching this video, then a very good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you all. And we have a great little card trick for you today. In fact, it's an amazing card trick because with the help of a spectator, you're going to get them to choose a card and you're going to know what it is. But unlike doing it the traditional way, where you take a card and I name it, I'm going to do it in reverse. You see, I'm going to name the card that you are going to call out. You're not even going to take a card, you're going to think of a card. Now, I know which card you're going to think of before we even start. If I keep it in my mind, you're not going to believe that I knew it. But what if I commit myself by writing in my wallet? I've got some business cards and I'm going to write the name of the card that I believe, no, not believe, I know you're going to pick. And remember, you do have a choice of 52 cards from the pack. So I'm going to write down exactly the card. Yeah, this is the one. Yeah. That is definitely the card that you're going to pick, just there. So we come to the pack. We don't even need to remove them. I just need you to name the card that you are thinking of. 52 to choose from. Are you ready? Name it now. Queen of Clubs is the card you're thinking of. Now, do you want to change your mind? You can choose a different one if you so wish. Now, let's just get the pack. There's no cards left in the box. Now they are just a regular deck. Let's look for your card. The Queen, oh there it is there. The Queen of Clubs, that's the card that you chose. Yep, the Queen of Clubs. Now I know what you're thinking, are there any duplicates in there? Trust me, there's no duplicates. Just double check that there's no duplicates. There's a Queen of Hearts, but there's definitely no more Queen of Clubs. No, happy with that. So the card that you just called out happened to be this one, the Queen of Clubs. It could have been any. You are not going to believe this, trust me. But remember, I wrote on this card the exact card that you would pick. Have a look. It's not your card. Well, no, I didn't say I was going to write the actual name. You see, I wrote 22. You're not going to believe this, but were you counting? When we went through the pack, did you know that this card was the 22nd card down from the top? Isn't that amazing? I know what you're thinking. How do we know? Well, okay, I jest. What I do want to show you is that these cards, not only are they regular, but every card is numbered. Look, on the back there are numbers. If you'd chosen the Ace of Diamonds, it would have been the 4. If you'd chosen the 4 of Spades, it would have been a 3. If you had chosen the King of Clubs, it would have been 31. The Jack of Diamonds is 5. The Queen of Hearts is 52, but I think you get the picture. Every single card in this pack has a different number from 1 to 52. You chose one card and one card only, the Queen of Clubs. I said you would pick 22. You're not going to believe this, but it is the card with the number 22 on there, and that is incredible. Out of all of these cards, that is it, number 22. Amazing as it seems, we've already seen there's no duplicate cards in here. Okay, they've all got different numbers on. In fact, you take them, please take them, examine them, check. No duplicate cards, nothing stuck together, no special cards or numbers, no replication of numbers. This is an amazing card trick. Practice and enjoy. Here is the tutorial for this very simple trick. Now this particular effect is one that we actually performed on the channel about 3.5 years ago. If you go back and have a look, slight different variation, but it's exactly the same method. The reason I've rehashed it, there's quite a few commercial versions out there on the marketplace that achieve the same outcome, but they do it a different way. I wanted to show you a very simple way of doing this. Now the reason for this quick interruption to the tutorial, the performance and tutorial that I filmed were filmed a few months ago. Since then I've had time to think about the routine and I've made a couple of slight improvements, or I believe them to be slightly better handlings for the routine. First of all, in the routine I did use the 9 of hearts on the face of the pack. Why does that play an important part? Well, you'll see that when you watch the original tutorial to this trick, which I'll put on after I've just spoken about these improvements. You really want to use the picture card on the face, and you'll see why in a moment. But just briefly, how do we set this up? You get an old deck of cards. Don't use a new pack because you're going to deface them and write numbers on the backs. So get an old deck of cards, a full pack, 52 cards, and on the backs of every single card write numbers 1 to 52. It doesn't matter which card has which number. There's no specific order. So you've got a full deck of cards numbered 1 to 52. You can shuffle them up. Then what I would recommend is that you go through the pack and find a card that you're going to have on the face. Okay, now I'm going to use the Jack of Spades. And why am I picking that? So pick out any number. I'm going to pick out the Jack of Spades. Why? Because I know on the reverse of this I've got the number 28. Now that's not essential, but I just think it works better if the number that you're going to write on your prediction card in here is a sort of mid-range number, but that's my personal preference. Okay, I just think it looks better when you give a mid-range number. So I've gone for a number 28. Okay, but this number that is the number you're going to write on your prediction card at the start, and it can be any number. So mine happens to be 28. Now once you've done that, you're going to put that on top of the pack, but now you need to raid a second old deck because you need a duplicate card, in this case the Jack of Spades. Now what you're going to do is you're going to write a number on the back of this. Now in the original routine I had duplicate numbers because in the original routine I had the 9 of hearts which had 22 on it. When I added a duplicate 9 of hearts I also put the 22 on that. I think it'd be better if you take this card and on the back of this one write 53. Okay, so write 53. That way we don't have any duplicate numbers at all. Now I know what you're thinking, shock horror. Won't people notice that there's only 52 cards? Well, you have to remember you could have 53, 54 with the jokers as well. So 53 I think is a safe bet. So I write 53 on there. This is what I do. I put the 53, the duplicate, on top of the pack. Then I put the original one with the number that I'm going to force on top of that. On the face of this, now you can see why I think it works better with a picture card, is because you're going to use some double-sided tape. And you put this on this top card. Of course, as you know, when you put double-sided tape on a white part of a playing card, after a while it gets dirty and grubby and kind of goes to an off-white, and people will spot that. Okay, so use a picture card, it disguises that double-sided tape much better. That is the setup. You're all done. You can then watch the old original tutorial. I'll tag that on next. So remember, we're using the 9 of hearts in that tutorial, but that is the original one that I filmed a while ago. But the handling is the same. Just a couple of things. I do bend up the box like this a little bit so that when I put the cards in, that double-sided tape won't stick to the box quite as hard when you pull this out like that. You can give it a few shuffles, just make sure you keep the 2 top cards there. Top part of the case, because you don't want this face card sticking to the inside of the box. I then put the cards away, put this on, you're all good to go. That's done. In terms of writing this down, to be honest, you could use a piece of paper, a post-it note, anything you like, you can write down on there. So all I did is I used a business card from my wallet. I then just pulled this out. I wrote down 22, which is the number on the back of that 9. And I put that down there. Now they believe I've written the Jack of Clubs, the Ace of Diamonds or something like that. But you say I've written your card on there. Now, it's probably better if you phrase it, I've written your card on there, rather than I've written the name of your card. So I may have inadvertently said that in the performance, but I think it would sound better if you didn't tell them really what you wrote. So by me saying I've written the name, then I'm implying that I have written the Queen of Clubs, the Ace of Diamonds on there. So if you just say I've written your card on there. When they name a card and they have a choice of 52, there's nothing missing from the pack. That's the beauty of this. So let's say it was the Ace of Diamonds. You take the pack, you open it, and I squeeze the edges just to bow this up a little bit. To be honest, you're handling these, it doesn't matter if the card does stick a little bit inside the box, because you've got plenty of room just to grab that and just yank it out. Yeah, pull it on there. But it comes out quite easily. Keep the faces. You don't want to bring it out like this because you don't want to reveal the numbers yet. Bring it out like this. Show them the box. Get rid of that and take the cards. Now, you then say you chose a card from this pack. Now, be careful. Don't spread the top 2 because they're a duplicate. So I just push a bunch of them. Just say, now you've chosen a card. What was it? The Ace of Diamonds. You go through looking for the Ace of Diamonds. When you get to that particular card, let's just see where it is. There it is, the Ace of Diamonds. Pull it out and drop it on top momentarily, like that. Now I clip it like this. What I'm deliberately doing, and trust me, in the audience, somebody will be clocking this card. Even the person you're delivering this to, subconsciously, although their focus is on this, they will see that this is a 9. This is why I say it's better to have this as a picture card, because it's more obvious. Okay, so when they choose this card, they spot this other picture card, or in my case, the 9 of hearts, and now put that in the back of their mind. You show it like this, then you square it up, you say, well, hang on a minute, just in case you think. Now, as I push this across, I clip it in exactly the same, but can you see that we're still seeing a 9? So the audience will think nothing secretive or tricky has been done. Everything is clean at the moment. You've removed it, put it on there, everything is clean. Go through and say, just in case you think there's duplicate cards or anything untoward with the cards, let me just show you the rest of the pack. So you're doing 2 things here. One, to show that there's no duplicate Ace of Diamonds, and secondly, that they are all different. You could have had any of these. Come back to here, just a little bit of pressure on that. Take this and try it down there. Now, because it's got that sticky tag, look at that. It's perfect. There's no bowing of the edge. You can look all around that. That is perfectly square and as one. And you drop that down there. Now sometimes what I will do, if I'm doing it for magicians, I do like just to pick this up and remember, and I say to them, remember I did write your card on here. Can you notice that I drop it here? What I'm doing, just in case, you don't need to do this, I'm overcautious. In case someone has got 20/20 vision and they're thinking, oh, that card's a little bit thicker. It's hundredths of a millimetre thicker than a regular card. No one's going to know that. But just in case, I just drop that on there to cover up that front edge. There it is there. Now the rest of the cards, you say, push them across, you say, look, I do the gag about this is your card, and I turn this over and it's got 22 on there. And then I go into the gag about that's because, were you counting? It was the 22nd card in the deck. Now, of course, you then move on and say, no, truly what this means is that every card in this pack, if you had chosen the 10 of spades, that is card 18. Ace of clubs, number 10. The Queen of clubs, 21. The King of diamonds, 25. Ace of spades, 27. And then you can show these. People are now getting on that the fact that every card in the pack is numbered and it's different. You then come over here and you say the Ace of diamonds was a free choice. I wrote 22 on there. I really did know that that would be number 22. And you can throw this up in the air because it's all stuck together. You can handle it quite freely on there. I think it's a great little effect. Now, in terms of people saying, oh, can they examine it? It's not that type of trick. People tend to examine stuff when something looks a bit iffy. You know, you've been fiddling with a wooden box or an envelope or something like that. Then it raises their suspicion. This is as clean as you can get, handling everything. I mean, to be honest, I have in the past just said, look, just rub that. That doesn't rub off. It is there, and they can grab it. And then just turn it over and say, look, the ace, look, let me show you. And I take it back from them. They've handled it. Yeah, they're not going to know the thickness. If you want to look as though they can examine everything, I then just turn the pack over, turn this over and just say, look, there are no duplicates, but you might want to check these yourself. Look, I'm turning them over and I throw them down. You take them, and I push them to it, so you take them and examine them. And they can go through all the cards. I've already got rid of the one that you need to be careful of, the double. There it is there. Everything is pretty clean. I think that's a very strong effect. As I said, there's many commercial versions available that use a different method that take a bit more setting up. I quite like this because it's quick and simple to set up, and it's one to always carry around with you. It's a nice finishing to a performance on there.